Sign Zone begins here on BBC Two in half an hour, heading to Namibia for tribal wives with signing and subtitling. So have you swatted up? Now on BBC Two, it's Des Lynam's Sport Mastermind.
In the spotlight tonight is Patricia Arthur from Birkenhead, a local government accountant. Her specialist subject is the Wimbledon Singles Championships. Nevin Trusdale from Esher, a finance manager. His specialist subject is the England cricket team under Duncan Fletcher. Adam Lovatt from Glasgow, a trainee solicitor. His specialist subject is the Scottish Premier League. And Barry Harwood from Plumley is an accountant, and his subject is World Championship Snooker. Hello, I'm Des Lynam. Welcome to Sport Mastermind. Now, over the last 4 weeks, we've been searching for the nation's ultimate sports fan. And tonight, in the last of our heats, our 4 contenders will get the chance to prove their credentials by answering 2 minutes of questions, first on their chosen subject and then on sporting general knowledge. The winner will join the leaderboard, but will that be enough to claim a place in the final? Let's find out and ask our first contender to join us, please. And your name is?
Patricia Arthur.
And your occupation?
Local government accountant.
And your subject?
The singles championships at Wimbledon from 1968 to 2007.
2 minutes on the singles championships at Wimbledon starting now. In 1985, who became the first German and the first unseeded player to win the Wimbledon men's singles title?
Boris Becker.
Correct. Kimiko Dati was the first woman from which country to reach a Wimbledon singles semi-final?
Japan.
Correct. Whom did Pancho Gonzalez defeat in 1969 in an historic 112-game match that lasted 5 hours and 12 minutes?
Charlie Passerelle.
Correct. The 1980 final between Yvonne Cawley and Chris Evert-Lloyd was the first women's final to be decided by what method?
Tie-break in the second set.
Who was the only man to beat Pete Sampras at Wimbledon between 1993, when Sampras won the title, and 2001, when he lost to Roger Federer?
Richard Krajicek.
Correct. How many times had Goran Ivanisevic lost in the final before he finally won the title in 2001?
3 times.
Correct. Who unexpectedly beat Steffi Graf in the first round in 1994 before losing to Conchita Martinez in the semi-final?
Laurie McNeil.
Correct. What is the nationality of Marion Bartoli, who lost the 2007 women's final to Venus Williams?
French.
Correct. Who lost the 1968 men's singles final to his fellow Australian Rod Laver?
Tony Roach.
Correct. Prior to Tim Henman in 1997, who in 1982 was the last British man to be seeded at Wimbledon?
Buster Mottram.
Correct. What was the original surname of the 3 Bulgarian sisters who were all seeded in the 1993 Wimbledon Championships?
Maleva.
Correct. Which Briton defeated Rod Laver in the 4th round in the 1970 Championships before losing to Ken Rosewall in the semi-finals?
Roger Taylor.
Correct. Who or what was Juliet, presented to Roger Federer on his return to Switzerland after winning his first Wimbledon Championship in 2003?
It was a cow.
It was. In which year did Ian Nastase face Stan Smith in the first men's singles final to be held on a Sunday?
1972.
Correct. Which Briton, when she won the Wimbledon singles title in 1969, became the first left-handed woman to do so?
Anne Jones.
Correct. What number seed was Andre Agassi when he won the 1992 men's final?
2.
No, 12. Whom did Chris Evert-Lloyd defeat 6-2, 6-2 to win her 3rd and final singles title in 1981?
Hannah Mamlikova.
Correct. Which Croatian qualifier knocked out the defending champion Leighton Hewitt in the first round in 2003?
Ivo Karlovic.
Correct. I've started, so I'll finish. Which British former finalist was in 1973 Martina Navratilova's first victim at Wimbledon?
Christine James.
That's absolutely correct. You had no passes, Patricia Arthur. 18 points. Now our next contender, please. Your name is?
Nevin Trusdale.
And your occupation?
I'm a finance manager.
And your subject?
The England cricket team under Duncan Fletcher, 1999 to 2007.
England under Duncan Fletcher, starting now, 2 minutes. When Duncan Fletcher was appointed England's team coach in June 1999, who was selected as the new captain?
Nasser Hussain.
Correct. Whose innings of 64 not out played in near darkness enabled England to win the Karachi Test in 2000?
Graham Thorpe.
Correct. Which team scored 398 for 1 on the first day against England at Edgbaston in 2003?
South Africa.
Correct. Which former Hampshire, Middlesex and Somerset bowler replaced Troy Cooley as England's fast bowling coach in 2006?
Kevin Shine.
Correct. What was the result of the one-day international at Bloemfontein in February 2005 between South Africa and England?
It was a tie.
It was. At the start of England's 2004-5 tour of Zimbabwe and South Africa, they played 2 games in which other country?
Namibia.
Correct. When Nasser Hussain was forced to miss the 2001 Lord's Ashes Test through injury, which former captain led the team?
Michael Atherton.
Correct. At Kandy in 2003, Mark Butcher was dismissed in which manner in both innings, the first time this had happened to an England player for over 50 years?
Handle the ball.
No, he was stumped. Who was the only player to make his England Test debut during the 2005 Ashes series?
Kevin Peterson.
Correct. At which venue did Hansi Cronje and Nasser Hussain agree to forfeit an innings after a 3-day washout?
Centurion Park.
Correct. Who was England's wicketkeeper in the 2007 World Cup, having previously been Alex Stewart's understudy?
Paul Nixon.
Correct. 2 Yorkshire players made their Test debuts in Fletcher's first game in charge at Johannesburg in 1999. One was Michael Vaughan. Who was the other?
Gavin Hamilton.
Correct. At which ground did England gain their only win of the 2001 Ashes series?
Headingley.
Correct. Who returned to the England team for the 2003 Headingley Test against South Africa, having not played Test cricket for 10 years?
Martin Bicknell.
Correct. Who took a wicket in his first over of Test cricket against Sri Lanka at Trent Bridge in 2006?
Shahid Mahmood.
John Lewis. Who scored his 4th Test century in the Ashes Tour of 2006-07 to become the first England player to score 400s before his 22nd birthday?
Alistair Cook.
Correct. Who was Darrell Hare's co-umpire when the 2006 Oval Test was forfeited by Pakistan?
Billy Doctrove.
Correct. As well as holding... I've started, so I'll finish. As well as holding up 3 fingers, what did Nasser Hussain point at dramatically as a gesture to the press box on reaching his 100 against India at Lord's in 2002?
The 3 on the back of his shirt.
Absolutely correct. No passes, Nevin Trusdale, and 16 points. Now, next contender, please. And your name is?
Adam Lovatt.
And your occupation?
Trainee solicitor.
And your subject?
The history of the Scottish Premier League.
History of the SPL starting now. Since it began in August 1998, which is the only team other than Celtic and Rangers to finish in the top 2 of the SPL?
Hearts.
Correct. After Celtic Park and Ibrox, which current SPL ground has the largest capacity?
Pittodrie.
Correct. Which club's run of 10 consecutive SPL defeats cost manager Jerry Collins' job in November 2003?
Partick Thistle.
Correct. Under the current arrangements, after how many games does the SPL split into 2 groups of 6 to conclude the season's fixtures?
33.
Correct. Who scored 19 goals in the SPL's first season, adding a Scottish Champions medal to the English one he'd won 7 years earlier?
Chris Sutton.
No, Rodney Wallace. Which financial institution was the initial sponsor of the SPL until the current sponsors, the Clydesdale Bank, took over in 2006?
Bank of Scotland.
Correct. Which club failed to win a single away match in the inaugural SPL season?
Dunfermline.
Correct. At the start of which season was the SPL enlarged from its original 10 teams to 12?
2000-2001.
Correct. Which is the only club to have been promoted into the SPL twice?
St Mirren.
Yes. What was the score when Rangers beat Dunfermline on the last day of the 2002-2003 season, taking the title on goal difference from Celtic?
6-1.
Correct. Which club were able to return to their own stadium after a season of ground sharing when in 2005 the stadium capacity criteria was reduced to 6,000?
Inverness, Celtic Thistle.
Correct. Whose transfer from Hibs to Celtic in June 2007 set a record for the highest transfer fee between SPL clubs?
Scott Brown.
Correct. The former Rangers stars Ali McCoist and Ian Durrant played for which club in the inaugural Scottish Premier League season?
Kilmarnock.
Correct. At the end of the 2007-8 SPL season, who among the league managers had been in charge of his club the longest?
Jim Jeffries.
Correct. How many goals did Celtic score in the 2003-4 season to set a new SPL record?
105.
Correct. By what route did Kilmarnock gain entry to the 1999-2000 UEFA Cup?
Fair play.
Correct. Which English club paid a record fee for a Scottish player when they signed Barry Ferguson from Rangers in 2003?
Blackburn Rovers.
Correct. Who broke the old firm monopoly when he won the Scottish Football Writers Association's Manager of the Year award, having managed Hibs in 2004-2005?
Tony Mowbray.
Absolutely correct. You had no passes, Adam Lovatt, and 17 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
I'm Barry Harwood.
And your occupation?
I'm an accountant.
And your subject matter?
World Championship snooker at the Crucible.
Snooker at the Crucible, 2 minutes starting from now. Who defeated Cliff Thorburn by 25 frames to 21 in the first World Championships to be held at the Crucible?
John Spencer.
Correct. How long did the final 35th frame between Dennis Taylor and Steve Davis last in the epic 1985 final?
32 minutes.
68 minutes. Between 1987 and 1996, only 3 players won the World Professional Snooker title. Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry and who else?
John Parrott.
Correct. What rather unflattering nickname was given to Ray Reardon?
Dracula.
He was. What was the score in the 2006 final in which Graham Dott beat Peter Ebdon after one of the longest ever finals?
1817.
No, 1814. Despite making a 147 break, Ronnie O'Sullivan was beaten by whom in the first round in 2003?
Marco Fu.
Correct. What is the nationality of Tony Drago, who has qualified 12 times for the World Championships?
Maltese.
Correct. Who had his best year at the Crucible in 1979, beating Thorburn and Werbenuk before losing to Dennis Taylor in the semi-final?
Pullman.
John Virgo. What did Ronnie O'Sullivan do that Alan Robidoux considered disrespectful when the pair met at the Crucible in 1996?
Played left-handed.
He did. By what score did Tony Knowles defeat the reigning champion Steve Davis in the first round of the 1982 World Championship?
10-1.
Correct. Who reached the semi-final on his debut at the Embassy Finals in 1995, having defeated Steve Davis, Willie Thorne and Peter Ebdon en route?
Hicks.
Correct. Bill Werbenuk was allowed to offset the cost of what against his income tax because he claimed it relieved his symptoms from familial benign essential tremor?
Lager.
Correct. Whom did Alex Higgins defeat in the semi-final of the 1980 Championship before going on to lose to Cliff Thorburn in the final?
Davis. No.
Kirk Stevens. How long did it take Ronnie O'Sullivan to score the fastest ever 147 break to be recorded at the Championships?
5 minutes 20 seconds.
Correct. In 1982, who became the first 19-year-old to win a match at the Crucible, doing so against the oldest player in the tournament, Fred Davis?
Jimmy White.
Dean Reynolds. Which qualifier did John Higgins beat to win the 2007 final 9 years after winning his first World Championship?
Mark Selby.
Correct. Which Chinese player lost to Stephen Hendry in the second round of the 2008 Championship?
Lan Hui.
No, Ding Junhui. No passes, Barry Harwood. You have 11 points. Well, that brings us to the end of our first round on specialist subjects. Let's look at the scores. In 4th place with 11 points is Barry Harwood. In 3rd place with 16 points is Nevin Trusdale. In 2nd place with 17 points is Adam Lovatt. But in the lead with 18 points just is Patricia Arthur. On to round 2 now, and general knowledge. If there's a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account, and the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. So let's get on with it and ask Barry Harwood to rejoin us, please. Barry? Championship snooker at the Crucible.
Yep.
It's ending, isn't it? There, I mean, are they moving away from the
The
Crucible?
contract's up for renegotiation, I think. The current contract runs to 2010.
It'll be a sad day, won't it?
It will, because obviously it's been there since '77. Most of the modern generation have grown up with it. It's a very cosy venue. All the 900 seats, you can get a really good view, so I'd be very sad to see it leave.
At the beginning, in the early stages, they have 2 tables going at the same time, don't they?
They do. I've only been there when there's been 2 tables, yeah.
Does it spoil it a little bit? Are you sometimes, when you're watching on the television, you hear the cheers and you know something decent's going on the other table?
You've got to concentrate on your own table. I've actually been at the Crucible twice when Ronnie O'Sullivan's got a 147, but unfortunately...
On the other table?
I've been watching the other table, yeah.
Are the days of actual domination of one player finished, do you think? I mean, the days of Davis and Hendry when they won year after year after year, that doesn't seem to happen anymore,
I think
does
there's
it?
so many good players on the circuit, it's far more competitive. It was, say, 20 years ago, and they're almost all capable of beating each other on any given day. So the top players can't afford to just have a slightly off day because they'll get beaten by some lad who's going well, playing well.
Well, you scored 11 points on the snooker. Let's see how you do on your general sporting knowledge, shall we?
OK.
2 minutes starting from now. Which American has made more appearances in the Open Championship than any other US golfer?
Arnold Palmer.
Jack Nicklaus. Which current English football club ground hosted a World Cup semi-final in 1966?
Goodison Park.
Correct. Which team won Rugby Union's EDF Energy Cup final in 2008, having lost to the same opponents in 2007?
Bath.
No, Ospreys. Which Boston Celtics basketball player was the NBA's most valuable player in 84, 85 and 86?
Larry Bird.
Correct. Who donated the trophy now bearing his name, which is awarded for the fastest first-class century scored in English cricket season?
Walter Lawrence.
Correct. What nationality is the tennis player Marat Safin, who has twice won the Davis Cup with his country?
Russian.
Correct. Which Brazilian holds the record for the most Formula One starts? His 257th race came at the Turkish Grand Prix in 2008.
Massa.
Rubens Barrichello. Which European country won gold in the ice hockey at the 2006 Winter Olympics by beating Finland in the final?
Czech Republic.
No, Sweden. Which major tennis championship was the only Grand Slam tournament that Pete Sampras did not win?
French.
Correct. Which amateur football club whose strip was copied by Real Madrid was for several years given a bye into round 3 of the FA Cup?
Bishop Auckland.
No, Corinthians. Which American athlete took gold in the 1988 Olympic heptathlon with a world record points tally?
Johnny Kersey.
Correct. Who defeated Henry Cooper in '71 to capture his British, Commonwealth and European heavyweight boxing titles?
Joe Bugner.
Correct. Which rugby league side won the Middlesex Sevens rugby union competition in 1996?
Wigan.
Correct. Which former Olympic sport contested only at the St. Louis Games is an American version of croquet?
Pass.
In 1955, which long-distance motor racing event was won by Sterling Moss and Dennis Jenkinson in record time?
Le Mans 24-hour rally.
No, Mille Miglia. In snooker, what name is given to the foul stroke that occurs when the cue remains in contact with the cue ball longer than permitted? You can answer.
Push shot.
Push shot is absolutely right. You passed on just one. Roquet was the American version of croquet. Just that one pass, Barry Harwood. You have 20 points. Now, Nevin Trusdale, please. England cricket team under Duncan Fletcher.
Yeah.
What did you admire about Duncan Fletcher so much?
I think just the way that his approach to the job. He brought in a lot of new, innovative thinking to coaching, and generally it applied.
Like what?
Well, allowing the players to think for themselves, almost acting as a consultant. So he'd had a career in business before, but like Clive Woodward, really, he brought a lot of those sort of that thinking and that sort of ethos to the England team for the very first time.
Did he change things like diet, fitness, those kind of approaches?
Yeah, I mean there was a bit of that. I mean there'd been a bit of that before, sort of under Mickey Stewart and David Lloyd, but I think it went to a new level under Fletcher, and certainly once Vaughan took over. I mean that's something that Vaughan was particularly keen on. They'd never been fitter than they had been during that run 04, 05, the 7 wins at home, then the Ashes, and that preparation definitely pays off.
What about the one-day series? He didn't quite achieve quite so much in those matches.
No, they were never quite. They never quite got the one-day game in the way that the Australians, the South Africans, the Indian team did. They always seemed to be a step ahead in their approach to the 50-over format and how to use the power plays effectively and all that sort of stuff. And England, Fletcher, I don't ever really saw. He did pay lip service to it, but I don't think he ever really saw one-day cricket as important as Test cricket. And to be honest, I'd agree with that. What's more important to me as an England fan, winning the Ashes or winning the World Cup? I'd take the Ashes anytime.
Absolutely. Well, you scored 16 points. Let's see what you can do with your general sporting knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Which left-handed golfer won his second green jacket at the Masters in 2006?
Phil Mickelson.
Correct. Which team in Rugby Union's Guinness Premiership share Watford Football Club's Vicarage Road Stadium?
Saracens.
Correct. In 1997, who became the first overseas football manager to win the English FA Cup?
Claudio Ranieri.
No, Ruud Gullit. In American football, what name is given to the 2 points scored when the defending team tackled the ball carrier in their own end zone?
Sack.
No, safety. Which women's tennis player defeated Dinara Safina to win her first Grand Slam title at the French Open in 2008?
Anna Ivanovic.
Correct. For which Formula One team did Derek Garner design a distinctive 6-wheel racing car that made its debut in 1976?
Tyrrell.
Tyrrell is right. Which Test cricket umpire has been given the nickname Slow Death because of the time he takes to make important decisions and his characteristic nodding of the head before raising his finger to signify a wicket?
Rudy Kurtzen.
No, Steve Buckner. How many Ryder Cup wildcard places will the American captain Paul Azinger be allowed to pick for the tournament in 2008?
2.
No, 4. In 1976, which male track athlete achieved the 400 and 800 metre Olympic double?
Pass.
Which Formula One motor racing circuit features the Abbey Curve, the Chapel, Hangar Straight and Maggots?
Silverstone.
Correct. Which featherweight boxer took Eusebio Pedrosa's world title in 1985 and was dubbed the Clonez Cyclone?
Barry McGuigan.
Correct. Which South Yorkshire Football Club were promoted to the Championship in 2008 and play their home games at the Keep Moat Stadium?
Doncaster.
Correct. In snooker, which colour ball is not replaced on the table if it's illegally potted?
Black.
No, the red. What nationality are Shelda Bede and Adriana Beja, who won the Olympic beach volleyball medals in 2000 and 2004?
Czech.
No, they're Brazilian. Which fast bowler who played 49 tests for England and was named as one of the Wisden's Cricketers of the Year in 1973 has published 2 volumes of poetry?
Jon Snow.
Correct. On what kind of surface was the US Open Tennis Championship played from 75 to 77? And you can answer.
Hard court.
No, it was clay. You had 1 pass. Alberto Juantorina did the 400 and 800 double at the 76 Olympics. That 1 pass, Nevin Trusdale, and 24 points. And now Adam Lovatt, please. You're obviously a fan of the Scottish Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Isn't it fading away a little bit? I mean, apart from Celtic and Rangers, the crowds are quite small, aren't they?
Well, actually, out of all the leagues in Europe, more people watch the SPL per head of the population than any other country in Europe.
Is that true?
It is. Yeah, I mean, Aberdeen get 13,000 a game, Hearts get 17,000, 18,000. There are good crowds beyond the SPL. Beyond Rangers Celtic, sorry.
Now, just explain the SPL format to us, will you? Because they play 33 games and they split out. How does that work exactly? It's very confusing for those of us outside of the SPL.
Yeah, each team plays each other either home once or home twice and away vice versa. And then after you've played each other 3 times, it splits into a top 6 and a bottom 6. And you play 5 more games, trying to even it out, so you played each team home twice and away twice. So it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't really make sense. If you're in the bottom 6, you can't get out of it then, can you?
I think in the past, as teams finishing 7th have got maybe 10 points more than teams finishing 5th and 6th. But you can't become 5th and 6th, you have to finish 7th.
Will they change it?
Well, I don't think there's enough clubs that would add enough to the SPL, and also Old Firm fans would see 2 less games a season if they were to expand the league, and I don't think they'd want that.
OK, fair enough. 17 points you got on the SPL. Let's see what you can do with your general sports knowledge, starting now. In 2008, which tennis player won his 4th consecutive French Open men's singles title?
Rafael Nadal.
Correct. Which former national stadium in Cardiff took its name from a hotel on the side that was demolished in the late 19th century?
Cardiff Arms Park.
Correct. Who became England's first £1 million footballer when he signed for Nottingham Forest in 1979?
Trevor Francis.
Correct. Nigel Benn, who won world titles in 2 weight divisions during his boxing career, is the cousin of which former England football captain?
Pass.
What is the name of the enormous bunker at the Oakmount Country Club golf course which features 12 turf islands?
Pass.
For which nation was Aravinda de Silva playing in 1997 when he became the first cricketer to score an undefeated century in both innings of a test match?
Sri Lanka.
Correct. Who won gold medals in the men's Olympic 1500 metres in 1968 and the steeplechase event in 1972?
Sebco.
No, Kip Keino. In which form of motorsport did Englishman Dan Weldon become a championship winner in 2005?
IndyCar.
Correct. In 1998, which 15-year-old figure skater became the youngest Winter Olympic champion in an individual event?
Pass.
Which baseball term describes the fielding team getting 2 players out on the same play?
Run out.
No, double play. In 1999, who became the first men's tennis player since Roy Emerson to win a career singles Grand Slam of all 4 majors?
Andre Agassi.
Correct. What nationality are the professional golfers Robert Allenby, Stuart Appleby and Adam Scott?
Australian.
Correct. 2 race courses are situated within the Bois de Boulogne in Paris. One is Auteuil, which is the other?
Longchamp.
Correct. In the 2007-8 season, which Turkish footballer playing for Blackburn Rovers became the oldest outfield player to have appeared in the Premier League?
Sugai.
Correct. Which Formula 1 venue 30 miles south of Nagoya is notable for the figure-of-8 circuit?
Suzuka.
Correct. In 2008, who became the first player to beat Phil Taylor in a Premier League darts match? His nickname is The Machine.
Barneveld.
James Wade. Besides the West Indies, which other side representing a group... I've started so I'll finish. Representing a group of countries played in the first Cricket World Cup in 1975?
Pass.
Well, the answer to that is East Africa. 3 other passes. Paul Ince is the cousin of Nigel Benn. Tara Lipinski was the 15-year-old figure skater. And the church pews are those 12 turf islands at Oakmount Country Club. You had 4 passes in all. Adam Lovatt, 27 points. And now Patricia Arthur, please. You're obviously a big tennis fan, eh?
Yes, I am very much so, yeah.
And who's your favourite player of all time?
Someone like Rod Laver, I think. I know he's the sort of previous era, but they were great players, weren't they? He was a great player.
And Rod Laver was unlucky in many ways, wasn't he? Because he turned pro and was omitted from the majors like Wimbledon. Then he came back and won it.
He came back and won it, yeah. So he'd have won it quite a few more times. I think he might have sort of equalled Pete Sampras or Roger Federer or Bjorn Borg if he'd had more chance to, more years in between 62 and 67 to win it.
And they didn't get much money in those days.
No, they didn't, no. Contrasting that the sort of prize money in 1968 was £2,000 and now it's £750,000.
Do you think Wimbledon's a little bit overrated because it's here and we're into it in a big time compared to the other majors?
I don't think so, because I think you can sort of tell with people like Venus Williams with it and Roger Federer, they regard it as, I'm sure they regard it as their premier championship to win. So I think it's important for the foreign players as well.
Well, you've got 18 points on the Wimbledon Championships, 27 is the score to beat. Let's see if you can do it starting now. Which English Premier League side released the former Spanish international Ivan Campo at the end of the 2007-8 season?
Blackburn Rovers.
Bolton Wanderers. Which British boxer moved up to light heavyweight in April 2008 to defeat the American Bernard Hopkins?
Joe Calzaghe.
Correct. Which South African golfer has won the US Open on 2 occasions in the 21st century?
Retief Goosen.
Correct. Which Test cricket ground includes the Radcliffe Road and Fox Road stands?
Trent Bridge.
Correct. What is the nickname of the professional darts player Martin Adams?
I did pass.
Which snooker player was the English amateur champion at the age of 16 and the world amateur champion at age 18 but has never won the World Professional Championship?
Jimmy White.
Correct. Which woman is the only tennis player to have won a calendar year Grand Slam of singles and doubles titles?
Margaret Court.
Correct. Before being sacked in 2005, who coached St Helens to 2 Super League titles, 2 Challenge Cups and a World Club Challenge victory?
Ian Millward.
Correct. Which US city was selected to host the 1976 Winter Olympics before a taxpayers' revolt and environmental concerns meant the Games were lost to Innsbruck?
Salt Lake City.
No, Denver. Which football club's home, the Stade Louis II, hosts the annual UEFA Super Cup match?
Pass.
In 1960, Formula One started awarding a point to 6th place finishers. Prior to this, the point was awarded to drivers for what achievement?
Finishing the race.
No, the fastest lap. In 1971, which horse became the first to win the Derby, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, the Eclipse Stakes and the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe in the same year?
Millreef.
Correct. Prior to Tiger Woods winning the tournament in 2008, who was the last American golfer to win the US Open when he took the title in 2003?
Jim Furyk.
Correct. Which tennis player nicknamed Guga was the first Brazilian man to win a Grand Slam singles title?
Gustavo Curtin.
Correct. In baseball, how many balls must be pitched outside the strike zone before a batter is allowed to walk to first base?
3.
No, 4. The Estonian Erkki Nuul won which event at the 2000 Sydney Olympics?
The decathlon.
Correct. In 2008, the South African Sean Pollock played, played 2020 cricket with which Indian Premier League side?
Chennai.
Mumbai. You had 2 passes. Monaco player at the Stade Louis II, and Wolfie is the darts player Martin Adams. 2 passes, Patricia Arthur. You have 28 points. OK, at the end of the general knowledge round, let's look at the scores. In 4th place with 20 points is Barry Harwood. In 3rd place with 24 points is Nevin Trusdale. In 2nd place with 27 points is Adam Lovatt. And in 1st place with 28 points is Patricia Arthur. Which means that Patricia Arthur is tonight's winner and takes her place on the leaderboard. Let's have a look at that leaderboard now. So Patricia's score of 28 is just enough to confirm her place in our grand final, meaning Dan Afshar and Paul Harris miss out. Congratulations to Patricia. We'll see you next time for the grand final of Sports Mastermind. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.